Welcome back to Star Trek Online, everybody. I am your host, the Housecoat Gamer, and today we're talking about cruisers. Specifically, cruisers that really don't match the classification system. Now, for this, I would have pulled out something like the Excelsior, or perhaps the Miranda, but I figured the Ambassador is the perfect exemplar of how the classification system is broken. This ship is 100 meters shorter than a Galaxy, and yet it's called a cruiser, when the Galaxy is in effect a battleship. This is just a battleship from a previous generation. So why isn't this called a battleship? Why doesn't it have more firepower than, say, the Defiant? Because the Defiant is a destroyer-class vessel. If the Defiant couldn't beat the USS Lakota, which was a heavy cruiser, this thing would tear the Defiant to pieces. Especially if the crew wasn't deciding, you know what, these guys are Starfleet officers, we're not going to just outright destroy them. But yeah, this is a battleship, not a cruiser. You want a cruiser? The Excelsior, the Constitution. Those are cruiser-class vessels. Light and heavy in that general area. But this is a battleship. It is too big and too heavily armed to be anything but a battleship. And while it has less phasers than a Excelsior, those phasers are more versatile and more powerful. And while I'm pretty sure that somebody forgot to put a photon torpedo launcher hole in this thing, I'm not going to blame the model makers or the guys from STO who just replicated the model. They were kind of in a rush. After all, TNG's production was on a weekly basis and they needed a model right then and there. But this thing should have really been called a battleship or battle cruiser. I'll get into that when we talk about battle cruisers proper. But for now, we're just going with the three main vessels. This thing is a battleship. It has a large power core, a relatively heavy amount of armor plating, good weapons loadout, good weapons coverage. It's a battleship, not a cruiser. I know they're not going to change it, but the Rant must be made. Because this ship isn't a cruiser. It's just too big. And the same could be said for the Galaxy. And the Sovereign, which you could call an advanced battle cruiser. But that's neither here nor there at the moment. There are very few ships that actually live up to their title. This is not one of them. So yeah. Battlecruiser or light battleship. Housecoat Gaming, signing off.